Beers on a Tuesday afternoon. 15 beers on a Tuesday afternoon. Fuck yeah!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 15 of 15 Beers. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Wow, fucking Dumbo. 15 beers on a Tuesday afternoon. Yeah, it seems like this last 2 weeks went pretty quick. This one kind of snuck right up on me, but we got some good guests here. We're drinking Keystone Light. It was right next to the Natty Light at the beer distributor, which is at a Labatt Blue Light, which seems to be my favorite. This episode's my level of drunkenness seems to go the best if I drink those, but this was right next to the Natty Light, and I think it might just be Natty Light in a different can, but there's nothing wrong with that. We got a special co-host today, Una the Pooch. Reluctant she might be, but she's right here on the couch with me. You want to say hello, Una? Nope. No, she doesn't. All right, so we'll get to it. Our first guest today is Mike Darcy, and we'll give him a call.
Gravity Cavi, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, man?
Good. What's happening?
Not much, just drinking some beers, doing a little podcast thing going on here.
I am not only drinking beer, my friend, but
Yeah.
I am putting fresh new lines on the kegerator in the
Oh,
Black Light Bar, baby.
Oh shit, you got a bar over there. I didn't know.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is I didn't realize this is kind of a local episode because you're right around the corner from me, and I'm doing Panula later. He's a couple blocks away. We could have just done this out in the corner, social distanced corner interviews here.
Of course. Well, I'll tell you like this: we social distance hard around here, and we only have people over who follow the same social distancing rules. I think you could do a remote show from the Black Light Bar at some point, my
There
friend.
you go. Yeah, right on. What do you putting on tap? What do you got over there?
It's a test keg of Coors Light, just to see how it goes.
Nice.
$66 for a keg of beer. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I have to go with the light beer for this. I tried. I think it was like episode 5. I did Mother's Milk and some Old Capital. I was making Old Mother's, and the last 30 minutes of the live stream is me sleeping on my couch. And there were like 5 people that still watched it, for like 30 minutes. Eventually, I woke up and turned it off. But
Yeah, I totally get that.
yeah, I can't go with the heavy stuff.
No, the heavy stuff. And Keegan Hills, I love Tommy and they do a great job there. But sometimes their beer is just, sort of the next day you can feel that you were at the bar the night before.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad if I'm just out drinking, but if I'm recording it and I have to look at it tomorrow when I edit it and see myself that drunk, on video, it's not a good idea for anybody involved. I don't think.
Nobody involved is happy about that.
Exactly. So what's up, man? How's the quarantine been treating you?
It's good. I mean, we've had to deal with the trials and tribulations of having a senior in the house. So we had to deal with that. But lucky enough for us, he was really cool with it and understood, the situation and really didn't want to. Really thought, honestly, the graduation ceremony, the way that it was kind of lame, and just, we celebrated here at home and celebrated with him, and we had a time.
And what they do for the graduation?
He had some friends over. They had a sleepover in the backyard. Just that.
But yeah,
and
what they do for the diploma stuff, was it like a drive-by thing, or they just
they drop it off. What they did was the diplomas were delivered to the kids 2-3 weeks in advance, 2 weeks in advance of the actual graduation ceremony.
Okay.
Right. So the ceremony was just really ceremonial. That's really all it was. There was no handing out of diplomas or anything. It was a handshake and a good job.
Gotcha. Yeah, that must be a crazy time to like your senior year of high school. You always remember this as like such a crazy experience during it.
The dude was more let down by the fact that he couldn't do the one sport that he enjoyed doing, which was crew.
Okay.
And that really seemed like more of a freaking letdown for him than anything else.
Does Kingston? Does he go to Kingston?
Yeah.
They have a crew team.
Yeah, they have a good crew team.
Were they out in the Hudson? Where do you?
Yeah, they go all over. They go mainly on the Hudson, but they have some of the meets that they go to are actually on man-made bodies of water.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool.
I literally always thought that was just like a made-up sport that was just in movies.
Yeah, no. The Kingston crew team is really active. It's one of the largest participant teams that they have.
Huh.
I forget what the number was for last year, but it was the highest number they've ever had for kids that wanted to play the sport and be on a boat in the Hudson.
Yeah.
These guys, they would freaking I would have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive him down, or if we're picking up other people, drive them down to the Maritime Museum, where they would start, doing their morning workouts, doing runs up and down Broadway, and putting boats in water.
Right on. Huh. What's the length of like a race for a crew competition?
Oh, it's not very long. So think where the docks are. Think where the docks are at the Maritime Museum, kind of up to where the Rondout bends before it gets into the Hudson.
Okay.
So just that length and back. So they have to actually go down, spin the boat around, and sometimes, I don't know if you've seen these crew boats, but when you're 6 people deep in them, turning around is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Seems, kind of like the harder part of the experience almost, right?
Uh-huh.
Huh. And is that like a college thing? You go on to college and you play crew?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But he's just going to Ulster.
Gotcha.
So both of the college age students are going to Ulster now.
It's a smart thing to do, I think, in this day and age, so you're just not strapped with thousands, tens of thousands of dollars of debt right off the, before you're 20.
Dude, it's crazy how much college costs. And with Scarlett, she was in the top 10th percentile of the graduates, so she actually got a lot of what she had to, between scholarships and between the program that she really had a lot of that paid for, which was
nice. Yeah, that's great. And then he can just do funnels with you guys, like a frat house kind of scene back there.
I wish
you can give them the college experience.
Look, dude, we all like when I was a kid, everybody used to, there was. I can remember specifically there was a group of friends of ours. We're all skaters and punks from the 80s and early 90s, mid to late 80s, and we had there were like 2 or 3 houses where you could go over and you could party with them, and it would either be the mom or the dad who was really cool, and everybody'd be hanging out. Nobody drove because everybody was sleeping over, but you'd be drinking and smoking and you just can't do that now. It's too much of a, with the way that the laws are, you can't even take that chance. So as much as we would like to be, the cool parents, we have to be parents that, don't put them in jeopardy or ourselves. So you gotta, kind of lame, but this is the world we live in nowadays.
That's fair. I remember that being a kid, like, when you would sit outside the grocery store and look for the most haggard dude and, asking him to buy you beer or whatever. Usually they'd be like $20 for a 12-pack for a $6 12-pack, and then they drink two of them before they gave it to you. I remember always being like, I'm always going to buy beer for kids once I get older. And, I would never in a million years do that now, It's,
oh, hell no. You know how much trouble you can get into?
Exactly,
It's like, it's a total zero tolerance type of stuff happening. But anyway, I think we did a good job. These people are awesome people. They were highest honor roll students. They have a social life. I think I did my job pretty well. They both are playing video games on a regular basis.
Nice.
A win for me.
That's great. What kind of stuff you get into?
Oh, I'm into all kinds of things, from driving sims to first person shooters to role playing games. Right. I do it all. anything I can do to take my mind off the day for a little while,
Yeah,
you know.
right on. I've been going through Oblivion over again. I haven't played that game in like 15 years, and it's
Yeah,
cool, but it's still good. I think it's better than Skyrim in a lot of ways. I think the stories and the quests are just better laid out than Skyrim was.
Look, I'll put it to you like this: I still will occasionally log into the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game and play.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, and then of course, then you have like us old schoolers. We have a Facebook group where friends of mine, are still playing Dungeons and Dragons, but now then everybody's playing it digitally.
Oh
and,
yeah, I play every Monday night.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, do you still?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
well. Do you do with that? What was that website that they do?
Roll 20. Yeah.
Roll20, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
It's
just
pretty
started
cool.
like a year or two ago. I used to play when I was living in New Paltz with like Jason West. They used to be mayor out there.
Of
Like
course, yeah.
a bunch of
Cool
the
cat.
Ganios, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Jason, cool cat, man.
Yeah, and they just got me back into it like a year or so ago. So we were switching like 1 week it'd be in Germantown, 1 week in New Paltz, 1 week in Kingston, and then this happened. So we just converted it over to the Roll20. So yeah, we do that every Monday night.
Look, there's a bit of a learning curve with Roll20, but really,
Yeah.
I mean, once you get it, you get it. It's pretty easy. There's also this there's an app on Steam that sort of does the same kind of thing where you have 3D, generated maps, computer generated maps.
Oh yeah, wow.
You can set up the whole thing. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We have some connection issues with the Roll20. Tim Ganio for another campaign he plays with is using Discord and thinks that's better for like the communication of it. I guess like maybe look at the maps on one thing and then use Discord for the like the talking or whatever. That seems to be, I don't know.
Well, look, I mean, Discord is like the modern version of what was this voice over IP program. Discord is amazing. The very first one, I can remember when the kids were little, and Claudia and I would switch jobs. So she would work during the day and I would work night, or vice versa.
Yeah.
During my downtime, I would play these first-person shooter games from Tom Clancy,
Okay.
and we used to use a program called Roger Wilco, and it was the original voice over IP stuff.
Oh shit. Yeah.
And then it turned into like TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, and now everybody's using Discord. And Discord is amazing. You've got developer companies who are using it to promote their games. Like there's this game called Stronghold. It's sort of like an RTS.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a new version of it coming out. And their Discord is set up so that you have clans and you can earn points. And the more points you earn,
Wow. Yeah.
you get a different access to the beta or the alpha version of the game. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I was just playing this game, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, like a mobile game.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking bananas. Like I started playing like 5 years ago, like pretty much a few months after it launched. I gave up about a year ago just because it got, there's people that spend, $100,000 a year on that fucking game. It's like, and everything is designed for them. I think they're like, well, if we can get 200 people that are going to spend $100,000 a year, that's better than 200,000 people that are going to spend $10 a year. So.
Yeah. Well, look, those microtransactions, man. This is where now we were supposed to have this conversation about Rupco and maybe other stuff. We're going into gaming. Come on, look, microtransactions are what ruin games. Think of Call of Duty. Think of the Star Wars Battlefront games.
Yeah.
EA Sports, EA Games, they just ruined games with these pay-to-win situations. It's god-awful.
They run it definitely like a business, where they, like especially this phone game, like they put out no content. It's basically just new characters to like, that you need to win in the arena to get your daily challenges. You got some crumpling going on over there, I think.
Who, me? I do?
Maybe?
I don't know. Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm rumbling still. Am I rumbling?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, well, look, I'm about to pour the first beer
Oh, shit.
off the kegerator, my friends.
Gotcha.
This is happening right now.
Nice.
It's a beautiful day, and it's ice cold. Look at that. If only we had Zoom.
There you go. Yeah. I tried fucking with that. That's beyond my level of technology. Have a video of two people.
Totally.
So I was gonna, initially when I asked you to be a guest, I was gonna talk mostly about Elks and Rupco and stuff. But
Sure.
now this Homestead Records stuff, this is very fascinating stuff.
Oh God, that's good.
So Homestead Records Rescue, how long ago was this? Like you went out for breakfast.
Okay, so you read the story,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
absolutely. I do a
so
little
what
bit of
happened
research.
was probably about a year ago, I came across a bunch of stuff that people were trying to throw out, and I was looking through a bunch of it, and it was really just, it was like negatives for printing record and stuff, and I really wasn't really focused too much on it because at the top of the pile was a folder that had Sonic Youth written in Sharpie on it.
Okay.
I was like, all right, let me check this thing out, right? So what it was the first 10 printed album covers plus the negatives plus editor's notes from like this single that they put out in 83 or something called Death Valley 69.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit, I love Sonic Youth. Let me grab that.
Yeah.
And I took it home, and honestly, it sat around for a really long time. I wasn't really sure what to do with it. I got in touch with Jimmy Buff, who Thurston Moore was playing in Woodstock. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yeah, vaguely. Yep.
So around that time, I tried to have Jimmy get in touch with the manager for Thurston and to see whether or not that would be something he would like to have back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, we never heard back from him. Months go by. There's no interest. So I was like, all right, let me find the Sonic Youth fan page and see if anybody there wants it. And I came across a collector in the UK who only collects Sonic Youth memorabilia.
Oh, wow.
Now, so shipped it right over to him, and he is now the proud owner of one immense, one-of-a-kind package of Sonic Youth history.
That's amazing. And so I thought it was like a big pile of stuff that you found, or this was
Right.
that was a separate incident, or
Yeah, that was the beginning of it, and then
Okay.
like the story says on what was the website that we have now,
Homestead Records Rescue, I believe it is.
Yeah. Records Rescue. And what happened was it was a Sunday morning. The kids have been home for months. We were like, all right, we need smokes, we need coffee, let's go. And as we're traveling back from the store, the same guy was like, hey, listen, the stuff is still here. This is it. It's going in the trash. I don't know if you want it or not. So, Claudia's like, meh. I'm like, all right, come on, let's just take a look at it, see what's going on with it. We weren't there 30 seconds, and she just looked at me, I looked at her, and we started loading everything in the car.
Yeah,
man.
wow.
We loaded the whole entire car up, and when we got home, we started cataloging what we had just rescued, and our minds were absolutely blown. It was crazy that this history from music that we're into was going to get lost. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous, so we couldn't let it happen. So we saved it.
Where was this spot? It was like a storage space or something, or what like?
It's in town. It was a place that's being renovated to do something else with, and we just,
Yeah.
it was like, so we just didn't want it to go in the trash.
And
Straight
it was
up.
like you think it was like the dude from the label, like it was his personal stuff, because it's not like albums per se, right? It's more like the artwork and stuff of that nature.
No, there are some albums in there. They're the first print. It's
Jesus. Wow.
It's the first pressing of these albums that are in. Not all of them have them. There are only a few that have them, but it's the first print of the record.
Wow.
And then the next section of them are the first printed, unfolded album covers, which is
Holy
just
shit. Yeah.
epic. It's epic. So, a couple of them stood out to me, and I was like, there were some that we had a bunch of stuff for, whatever. So I found this one. It stood out because it had a painting in the envelope itself, and it was a painting of what they used for the album cover. And then they also had this photo montage. Dude, these guys with their metal hair, it looked like Anthrax.
Which band was that?
It was Indestructible Noise Control.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Indestructible Noise Command. So I was like, let me take some photos of this stuff and see if I can find them on Facebook. Sure enough, they're still a band. They play, they make videos. Some of them are firefighting guys.
Okay.
So I sent them I sent the message to the group. Guy got back to me. It was the guitarist for the band. The next day, he's on Wall Street picking up his stuff.
Fuck yeah!
And
wow.
dude, he was so fucking grateful to have all of his stuff back. It was amazing.
Matt Gopaw says he worked at that Dutch East India trading warehouse in 2000.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so I guess he fucking, I guess that's...
Dude, they had, I guess it was like their storage. Their main office wasn't there. Like, if you look at the history, I think Claudia posted some of the history of the two companies,
Okay.
both Dutch East India and Homestead. It's, oh no.
What's the matter?
Oh no, I think there was a spill. That wasn't me, baby.
Oh, with the merch?
No. Claudia's doing this paint by numbers, and something spilled on it, and she's got a sad face on right now.
Oh, no.
It's a very sad face. I wish I could zoom her right now. She's got a very sad face on. So anyway, yeah. So we found this, and it was just a score of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And there's stuff like Lydia Lunch is in there. There's
nice.
The Cure is in there. There's a lot of Peel session things, and
Yeah, I saw
you know,
that.
I'm not sure how familiar people are with Peel sessions, but it was like being on the Ed Sullivan show in the UK. It was epic.
Yeah. I have, like,
So-
even later on, like, Fudge Tunnel at the Peel sessions was pretty good. Like,
Oh, cool.
And that kept going into the 90s at the very least, right?
Yeah. So our goal with this is to sort of get publicity for the stuff that we have and try to get them back into the hands of the bands if they still exist.
Yeah, so you're not, like, selling the stuff off. You're just, like, getting
Well,
it back.
if there's no interest in it, we'll definitely take offers from collectors. You know what I mean? Like, or if, let's say, the record company that the band is with now is interested in it.
Okay, yeah.
Like we had some Dag Nasty stuff and
Discord, yeah, I saw
right.
that on the
Discord
site.
is like, hey, we'll happily give you a finder's fee for finding this stuff, and we'll put it in our archives. We're not going to say no to that. Look,
Yeah,
I
fuck
mean,
yeah. You'd be crazy.
we're it's not like we live in a, we could always use the extra money, man.
Yeah, of course.
But the overall idea is to get this back into the hands of the bands who designed it, who put the work into it. I mean, look, music, Matt, Laura, everybody. I mean, local bands, Garen, everybody. Music is work, man, and you put work into that product, and for it to just be thrown by the wayside by some shitty record label manager, that's just not cool. So let's see if we can do the right thing.
Yeah. Or have there been any pieces that you're like, fuck, I'm just going to keep this. This is too fucking cool to give away?
All right, so there's the Susie and the Banshees Peel session. That's not legal.
Yeah.
Unless somebody says, here, take freaking an exuberant amount of money, it's not leaving the house.
And that's what I think in the bio on your Homestead Records, what is it, homesteadrecordsrescue.com, you talk about how she's more of a goth fan. You were more like, what, a skate punk? Is that what it was?
Yeah, so I was like MOD, SOD,
Okay,
DFI.
nice.
I was the old like California surfer punk.
Yeah.
And Claudia was the New York City going to Danceteria and
Platform
CVG.
shoes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't know. Musically, there are no platform shoes. I'm being told. She's sitting at the bar right now. And I'm
Okay,
being
fair enough. This is like a double interview here. I have a picture of you both on the screen for the Facebook Live now, so that's
Oh,
funny.
that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, no, I mean, look, the way we look at it is Kingston, this is one of the things, right? So this ties us into maybe some current events. Kingston is a community. I've lived here since 95. I've my family. I've created a family here. I've gone from being the tattooed party and punk rock dude to being involved in the community and really getting active and things like that. And this is a part of that. We're a community of people, and this is a community of music, and we all have to work together to try and find the homes where it belongs. And I think that ties into what we're doing right now in Kingston. Look, you've got people coming in from out of Kingston. Sometimes they're welcome, sometimes they're not. But what doesn't work is when you're just sitting back and bitching about it.
Yeah.
Like, instead of sitting back and bitching about what's happening now, you got to get up. You got to go to common council meetings. You got to run for alderman. You got to, like, really get engaged. group of people to advocate for the change or against the change that you're seeing. I mean, this is something that, I would have never thought that I was getting into, but from the neighborhood watch to advocating for affordable living, advocating for tenants' rights.
Yeah.
I mean, this is stuff that is big issues.
And for anyone that's like, if anyone's listening to this not from Kingston, we live like 100 miles north of New York City, and now with the pandemic and everyone working from home, like homes are just getting snatched up pretty much, like by we're getting a large influx of people from other places driving the housing market very high, right? Is that accurate?
Look, check this out. 17%
Yeah.
home prices have increased in the past 6 months. 17% in our little city alone.
Yeah.
People are going up to people who own homes and offering them cash deals right there on the spot.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And think about that from the perspective of the tenant, right? So
Yeah.
I work at RUPCO. Everybody knows that, and I run a.
What's RUPCO stand for?
RUPCO used to stand for Rural Ulster Preservation Company, but now it's just RUPCO.
Okay.
But I work with a program that tries to provide funding for current landlords or for people who are trying to think about getting into property investment of units of 5 or more, to provide them funding to stabilize that building, as well as provide affordable housing, right? So you can't just come in and I'm going to buy this building and I'm going to jack up the rents.
Yeah.
What was it? 30% or 60% or $300 a month.
Yeah,
Those were the stories we were hearing.
It's
So
like, well, you see ads that are like affordable 1 bedroom for $1,400. Like, what the fuck do you do for a living that's
you are
fucking
out of
affordable?
your
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, of course
right?
you are. Yeah, it's like.
So,
yeah.
and what does that do to people who work in the restaurant industry here,
Mhm.
right? I mean, Kev, these are things we know about.
Yeah.
How does that affect us, right? And I'm not saying, look, this may come across as being anti having people come in and having new people and fresh blood and fresh ideas come into the community. The problem is that if you're not taking everything into consideration and being courteous about what you're doing,
Absolutely, yeah.
causes problems. And
And
again,
like
it goes
giving tax breaks to giant hotels is not exactly, helping anything out,
look, my take on that is if they're going to guarantee that they're going to have a certain percentage of the units of housing that they're creating be affordable, I'm in favor of it.
But I think their idea of affordable was also a little bit skewed with at least my idea of Kingston,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. If that's the case, then absolutely. If it's not the case, that's something we have to support, because we cannot have all of these multi-family buildings being gobbled up and having the rents jacked up to above fair market value.
Yeah.
Or even consider this. 43% of the city of Kingston lives on a poverty level income. Think about that.
Think
about that. Like
40%.
40% poverty level income. There's a report that the United Way put out called the ALICE report, and it's it's something about affordable living. I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's the ALICE report. And they take things into consideration like the food allowance, like water allowance, like ancillary that the census doesn't take in. And if you were to look at what the current data says for the city of Kingston, in fact, I'll give the listeners a little bit of a what's up. Pattern for Progress is an organization that is now putting out the most current ALICE report. And I would challenge anybody listening to go and Google search Pattern for Progress, ALICE report, and look at where not only the city of Kingston is, but look at Newburgh. And look at how much people have to make to get out of that stream of one paycheck away from being homeless, or one paycheck away from. I mean, these are the big issues that we have to talk about as adults now. We can't just sit back and complain about it. We got to get involved. We got to find solutions to the problems. Don't just armchair bitch about it. Get out there and do something about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to do because I think a lot of people don't know what steps to take. You know what I'm saying? Like people aren't just used to that. Like no one's parents brought them to common council meetings. No one is used to that, so it's like it's not ingrained. It's like a new thing, and new things I think are hard for people.
Absolutely. And look, it's really freaking simple, right? Don't be stressed out about it. Don't have anxiety about it. You pick up the phone and you call your alder person.
Okay.
You pick up the phone and you call people who are in the business. You call Rupco. You ask a specific question. The only reason that I work at Rupco was because I started a not-for-profit, and I called them to seek advice on how to run it.
Okay.
I started a not-for-profit to do a neighborhood watch, and I got off my ass, and I got in contact with somebody who could help me and advise me on how to do it the right way, which, in hindsight, we really didn't do a very good job. But you get the point.
Where was that? Was that at your house right now on Wall Street?
Absolutely.
You were doing a Wall Street neighborhood watch?
Yeah. Well, you remember the woman who got beat up some years ago, Greta? Do you remember this?
I heard
woman?
that story. I moved to Kingston about 8.5 years ago now, and the first apartment I lived in was almost 2 doors down from you. It was right in that building on the corner of St. James and Wall, and I was the alley up. What's that?
The Pepto-Bismol house. The pink house.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was the alley right there, so I was like, kind of, I would park on Wall Street, so I was like pretty close to where you are. And everyone told me that story. So like when I first got there, I was very worried because that was right on the corner of St. James and Wall Street, or in that neighborhood, right?
Right. Well, I mean, look, what it was we heard this woman coming home crying, and we're very concerned with her. She lived next door, and we were very worried about her. So we went and found out what happened, and she had been coming home from the basement, which is now the Anchor.
Yeah.
And was mugged for her purse, and when she tried to fight back, she was beat up. So Claudia and I were pissed. We were like, "Yo, this is our neighbor. What the hell is going on? What are we doing?"
Yeah.
And of course, thinking back on it, did we care about any other crime that was happening? Did we give a shit up to get involved when there were shootings or anything like that?
Yeah.
No, because this was somebody who we knew that we cared about. But that was the catalyst. It took that situation in order to get us more, get us civically engaged, really.
Okay.
So, whatever it takes, once you have that moment, when you have that moment, take it. Don't be scared of it.
Yeah.
Run with it. Talk to people, ask questions. It's the only way you're going to get the answers and get the solutions that you might be looking for. It's not always going to work, but I can tell you the effort is totally worth it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, I don't know. For me in Kingston, it feels like overwhelming just because you're dealing with, like, if you're a 70-year-old person renting out a house for, fair market value, and someone comes and offers you an exorbitant amount of money for it, like, you're almost crazy. How do you stop that, Like,
well, I mean, we can't talk about where anybody else's mindset is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what's going on with that person's head. But I can tell you personally, if I owned the building next to mine, where my mom lives, where Claudia lives, if I owned that building and somebody offered me money for it, there's absolutely no way and no amount of money that would get me out of there because I believe in Kingston, and I believe that you're coming from out of state, you don't understand what the housing needs are in the community.
Yeah.
Even if you convince me so, unless you show me that you're going to make sure that you're working with state agencies to have a rent regulatory 30 years, I don't want to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you're an exception in that, in that department. Like,
well, look,
so you're hyper aware of, the housing issues.
This is happening to people who aren't 70. This is happening to people who are 50.
Yeah.
Claudia and I are hovering around that 50 mark. Like, this is, which is odd to say. Can we just
I'm
point
right there.
that?
I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, are we seriously almost 50? Is that something that's real?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to say that you're older than 50.
I mean, I still got 5 years, but that seems time's going quick. The longer you stay here.
It is. So the name of the show is 15 beers
on a Tuesday afternoon. Yeah.
How many beers are you on right now? Because I feel like I'm the only one drinking. Is that?
I just opened I opened 6, number 6.
You opened number 6, and who's there with you?
It's just me and the dog. You know.
Oh, all right.
I
all
mean,
right, the dog-
my roommate Neil is popping in and out. He works for Marker Tech, but he's all online. He would crush the 15 beers on Tuesday afternoon because he's working online, so a lot of his time is on the porch, boozing. But
Yeah.
it's weird
how
'cause
we doing?
people walk by and he looks like a kind of a vagrant, but really he's working for a tech company. He's doing IT, he's solving problems, and I'll see him I'll see the cans on the porch, and I'll come in. He'll be doing a Zoom meeting with his boss or whatever, and he's crushing it. And it's well, okay.
First of all, I've seen him on your porch. Love him on your porch. And you know that you've seen me walking around this town, going into bars and painted up, ripped up clothes, sneakers with holes in them, and then you'll catch me when I'm in the office and I have a button down and khakis on.
There you go.
I mean, that's how it works.
Hobo / business.
Maybe amateur car collector. Who knows?
Yeah. You collecting some cars over there?
We fell into an old 1978 Fiat Spider, which looks like an MG. So imagine an MG being it looks like that. And now I couldn't fix it without having a parts car, so I had to get a parts car. So we're just doing driveway mechanic.
You have a driveway over there, right?
Okay, yeah, it's definitely a bonus.
Yeah.
When Garen's car is not in the driveway, I actually get to use it, which is amazing.
Nice. And he lives in the house next to you, where Stacy used to live, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and you guys don't own that house?
No, hell no. But interesting story. The house that we live in they built those houses, both where Stango lives in the back and my mom lives in the front house. And
is Stango still back there?
Stango's still back there.
He's like a ghost. I feel like I don't see him. I don't see him very often. But
no, he's still there. I'm not sure what he does. I know. I see him from time to time. He comes over maybe once a year for the Halloween party.
Oh, okay.
And we all get shitty, and then we don't see each other for another year besides a random passing in front of the house. What's up? Fair
enough.
When was the last time you were here for a Halloween party? Oh, wait.
I've never been. Where's my invite, man? Get me over.
What are you talking about? It's an open invite.
I didn't know that. I'm not just crashing Halloween parties like some kind of fucking animal.
It's always fun when we have Mike Bryan behind the bar.
Oh, yeah? All right. See, he leaves and he doesn't tell me where he goes, I saw him. He was here this morning making a smoothie, and I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" So he's trying to make some positive life changes during this.
Oh,
this
is he good? Tell him to put some kale in that shit and have a nice.
I think there were. I don't know if there was kale necessary. There's definitely peanut butter. I'm dog sitting, so he gave the dog some peanut butter, but I think there were some vegetables in there too.
All right. How are we doing on time? You need more? You mean we fill up more space?
I don't know. We can talk a little more. We can, if you want to wrap it up, we can wrap it up too. Whatever.
No, who do you have next?
Next is my friend Nathan Kalish. He's a singer-songwriter. He's from Michigan originally, but he lives in Nashville right now. Okay. And he's fantastic. I played a couple of his songs at the beginning. I would highly recommend checking him out. He has a new album that he put out this year that I didn't know was out, and I've been listening to it getting ready for the show, and I'm like, the instrumentation is just I don't know. The songs are really good. Everything about him is really good.
Oh, that's excellent. I know Kyle and the Pity Party just put out a new single, and it's really, really, really good too.
Nice. Well, I started doing every other week with this podcast just because having just getting really drunk every Tuesday, it became a lot. So, and I usually figure out my guests somewhere between when we close here and next 2 Tuesdays from now, which will be September 1st, I believe. So maybe Kyle would be an excellent guest, actually.
Well, look, on the drinking every Tuesday, practice makes perfect. You just got to really just commit to it and hydrate up at the end of the night and first thing in the morning, you'll be good to go.
There you go. That wasn't the issue as much as like when I started this, I was doing the dog walking, and that kind of slowed down because everyone was home with the pandemic, So I thought the world was going to get very weird for me, so I figured I might as well chronicle that. But then I started doing deliveries for the Anchor, so I started getting much busier than I was before. So I'm doing all this home recording, and every other, like next Tuesday, I'll probably work on home recording Tuesday rather than do this. But it's nice to have a day to do that,
Didn't you start out as thinking about doing a video? Didn't we do a video like the first like a test run of video? Didn't that happen?
The first few episodes I did, yeah, I tried to get like multiple screen. I tried to do a Zoom thing. I tried to do a Google Meetings thing. For the first 2 episodes, 4 was the first one I recorded. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I think you're doing a great job. I know Claudia and I have listened to a couple shows, and it's awesome. And I look forward to Noodle being on later.
Fuck yeah,
and I'm gonna continue on the 15 beer and a conversation theme for the day.
All right.
And look, I think if everybody could check out homesteadrecordsrescue.com, and the more minds we have on this, maybe there are people that can make connections that we can't. And
oh, nice. Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
Also, the Alice report. What was that you were talking about? There was a website that you had with that.
Right. So you want to, for people to really look at the current state of how people are living in the city of Kingston, you need to look at Pattern for Progress Alice report. And I believe today they put out a couple of infographics about it. And it's striking. It's striking. And also, if people are thinking about buying a multifamily building in Kingston, or if somebody owns a multifamily building in Kingston and they need help with finding money to get it, you can always contact me. I'm really easy to get to. My email address is easy. It's mdarcy, DARCY, @rupco.org. And I'll do everything I can to help you to make sure that we're keeping places to live that are affordable and that are safe to live in and feel good when you get home from a day's worth of work.
That's a very worthy cause, and I thank you for, it's great that somebody is doing that, for people that don't necessarily have the opportunity to do it for themselves,
And drive by Energy Square and look at how beautifully full it is. Yes.
Oh, is everyone living there? That's the place right on Cedar, kind of?
It's filled to the max. You got Drew Andrews with the Center for Creative Education. You got MAD, the Midtown Arts District, in there. It's awesome, and that place, nobody pays for their utility bill. It's a net zero building.
Oh wow.
Which is amazing.
That's
it's amazing.
And for Midtown businesses like the Deli's around the corner, or Tony's Pizza right there, or Tubby's when it opens, like just having that, more people right there, that's got to be a crazy boost for a bunch of stuff around that neighborhood, right?
Dude, I'll tell you right now, if I lived there, I'd be at Tony's drinking Hefeweizen.
Yeah, exactly.
Hefeweizen every chance I got. But the beautiful part about that building, not only is it net zero, but one of the misconceptions is that it's all low-income housing, and it's not true. Yeah, the housing is for above market rate to somebody who can't afford to spend 30% of their income on rent. So it's across the board housing, and it's an epic project that, in my opinion, doesn't get enough validation or credit.
It's a beautiful building too. I work for UPAC in Bardavon, so there were a couple times it was winter while that was getting built that I just had to stand by one of those back doors for like 3.5 hours just staring at it while it was getting built, and then 2 weeks later I'd stand there again and see the progress they had made on it. So it was nice to see it as it happened.
It was cool. I had a camera on top of UPAC taking pictures.
Oh shit!
For every like minute of the bowling alley coming down.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you look at the Rupco YouTube page, you can see a time lapse of the construction as it was getting started.
Oh, that's amazing!
It's just incredible. It's
nice,
incredible.
Nice. All right. Well, you have to let Tiger Piss. Tiger Piss has played at that bowling alley, so now we have to play at the new building.
I can make that happen.
All right. I'll talk to Lara. I think she's listening and she's packing up Arctone's merch right now as well.
I'm super excited. If she is listening, Lara, I've got a koi pond filled with fish that are about an inch long, and I think that two of these should live at her house.
Me and Faye Amatrano have been talked about getting into koi breeding, and Lara has said she'll let us breed koi in her pond. So,
Bro, I will happily donate fish to that cause.
All
Just
right.
stop on by and I'll give you a bag of fish you can take home.
All right, that's
Make
fantastic.
magic happen.
All right, man. Love you. Thanks for being
Love
on.
ya. All right, talk to you later.
All right, later. All right, that was Mike Darcy. That was a good one. Very, very interesting dude. Yeah, Una is turned around, facing the camera at least. Right? No, she's not. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll have Nathan Kalish, fantastic singer-songwriter, living in Nashville right now, I believe. But who knows? Maybe he's not. Who knows what he's doing? We'll find out soon. All right. We'll be back.
$15 beers on a Tuesday afternoon. That sounds about right. That sounds metal as fuck.
15 beers on Tuesday afternoon is a Crazy Rev Kev production.